Hey guys, it's Daniela, and this week's theme, or rather last week's theme since this video is late as usual, last week's theme on 7 Wowzer Fine Girls was freestyle. So I went on a school trip to Nashville. This was for piano, and we basically went on this trip to do a recording for an album that will benefit the Wounded Warrior Project. So I decided to take you guys along on my trip and show you guys some of the stuff that we did. So anyways, without further ado, let's get this party started. Woo!
I got to fly alone for the first time while going on this trip, so here's a video of the plane taking off. 2 hours later, I arrived in Nashville. My dad picked me up at the airport and we took an Uber over to meet up with the group. After waiting around for a while, our first stop of the trip was the Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum. I had a lot of fun experimenting with the equipment they had there for people to try. Next, we went to the Opry Mills Mall to have lunch. After lunch, we didn't leave the mall yet because they had this museum thing that you could walk through to see life-size statues of famous musicians. While walking through it, we did this thing where some of us would run ahead and pose to try to blend in with the statues, and when the rest of the group caught up, they tried to guess which ones were statues and which ones were real. That was a lot of fun. After relaxing at the hotel, we went to Dave & Buster's for dinner and games. Here's a clip of me playing Candy Crush Saga. After dinner, we got to see a show at the famous Grand Ole Opry. After the show, we got a backstage tour of Grand Ole Opry. I even got to go on the stage. Day 2 was another big day. The first thing we did was we went to the Ryman Auditorium. Then we went to the Johnny Cash Museum. At this point, I realized that there are a lot of country music museums in Nashville. After all, it is the place for country music. Afterwards, we went to the Goo shop to sink our teeth into something sweet, which was a little backwards since this was before lunch, but I guess sometimes you just gotta start with dessert. After lunch, we took a guided tour of RCA Studio B. This is one of the most famous recording studios in the world. I even got the chance to play part of the first movement of the Beethoven Sonata I'm working on that famous piano in the recording studio, which was about the only practice I got to do on the trip. Day 3 was our last day in Nashville and probably the most exciting day, especially later on in the day. Our first stop was to the Country Music Hall of Fame. Then we ate lunch and then had free time. During our free time, me and some of our group went to some of the gift shops on the streets. And here's one of the most exciting parts. We saw the singer Pink in one of the shops. That was really cool, and it just goes to show that on school trips like this, there's never a dull moment. The next thing we did was the whole reason why we went on this trip. We went to Ocean Way Studios to do a recording for an album that will benefit the Wounded Warrior Project. Before recording, some of us got to get interviewed, and I was one of them.
It made my heart happy to know that this was for a good cause. And it was an opportunity that I just couldn't pass up.
After interviews, we had a master class and then we did our recording. And let me tell you, it was exhausting because we had to do like 92 different takes. That's an exaggeration, by the way. But it was worth it because in the end, we killed it.
Woo! Thanks so much for watching my video this week, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you guys want to be a good candidate for a shout out in my next video, then comment down below. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? And I would definitely go to Bora Bora if I could go anywhere in the world. So anyways, again, that's pretty much it. And don't forget to have a wowzerfying day filled with lots of wowzerness. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, y'all. Woo!